Now, what are protocols that cooperative groups can use to help them stay on task, right? Because the more we can share those with our students, the more we'll get the behaviors that we want. To be a part of a collaborative group requires self-regulation, right? I have to be able to begin a task, stay on task, and complete the task. That's all right here in my prefrontal lobes. That's where my executive function lives, and that's where my self-regulation lives. Beginning tasks, staying on task, ending tasks, as I just said. I don't have to tell you that if you could wave a magic wand in front of your students' prefrontal lobes and get that activated, you would not hesitate to do that. This is the bane of teaching, right? The ability for students not to self-regulate, whether it's independently or in groups. So what are ways that we can augment this lack of self-regulation, but while augmenting it, help the students acquire it? Because anytime we have students follow something that is activating the neural activity here in our prefrontal lobes, we're actually creating that. Again, brain surgeon, not getting your hands dirty. You're doing it with paper and pencil, but you're increasing neural activity there. So one of the norms that most groups have is that all voices are heard, right? That we take turns speaking and listening. And you know, even in your own groups of adults, that oftentimes one person will hijack the talking while everyone else remains quiet, right? That all voices don't get to be heard. So what are some concrete protocols that we can use in our classrooms? For the lower grades, you can actually make little mouths and little ears. And when someone is speaking, the students hold their ear because that reminds them that they're listening right now, and the person speaking holds their mouth. And then when somebody else wants to speak, they pick up their mouth icon, and everyone else picks up their ear icons. You know, they're little pieces of paper that have ears on it. That's the icon. And then they know they're supposed to be listening. Another way is to have little chips, checkers, anything like that you want to use. And everyone gets, let's say, 4 chips. You have to ante up every time you have something to say. If you're out of chips, you're out of speaking opportunities. And everyone needs to make sure that all their chips are in by the end of the discussion. That's a way that we can make sure all voices are heard and it's in a more equal way. Now, depending on the maturity of the group, let's say that Naeem has used up all his chips, but he really has something to offer that's important to the group. He can solicit the group. Group, I do have one more thing I want to say. Would it be okay if I had one more opportunity to speak? And the group normally would say, go ahead, Naeem, you can speak. You may get called over at that point to intervene, but it's teaching that all voices are heard. That's the way we follow our norms, but we do it in a very concrete way because some students don't have that full understanding of the self-regulation to take those turns speaking and listening.